Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone to Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love, or as I like to say, uniting the entire world with Dr. Carolyn Dean. I am telling you, there is no better union at this point in time in human history than to be united with our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. I am Ginny Sanders. I will be your co-host this evening, along with many other of our wonderful guests and callers and our regulars who chat in with us through YouTube and through our radio station chat line. We're so happy to have you here. If it's the first time you're listening, you're in for a treat, because you're going to hear something that's very difficult to hear in our world today, and that's authenticity. Dr. Carolyn Dean is probably one of the most authentic, unique, inspired, clear-minded, focused, dedicated, integrous people I've ever met in my life. She has been for the last 50 years and will continue to be until she falls off the face of the earth, a doctor, a naturopath, and a woman who is absolutely in love with nature. And her relationship with nature allows her to know and to intervene on behalf of us, those of us who are trapped behind computers and cell phones and in stressful jobs and in stressful relationships that tax our body biologically. And Dr. Dean knows how to intervene, swoop in there and say, hey, you need to strengthen your connection with nature through your food, your lifestyle, your dietary choices, and diminish those stressors and those environmental toxins, those electromagnetic toxins, those emotional toxins that are taking your health away. And we rely on her wisdom and her courage in saying that day in and day out, that your body, being designed by the intelligence that it was designed, has the capability to actually do that if you just give it the basic building blocks. And that's what we talk about all day, every day. And you know what? It's such a delight because it is truth. It's just pure, unadulterated truth. There's no other agenda here, just that. So we invite you. Namaste is what we say, and we're so happy you're here. And we just want to let you know, now listen, this is not a medical advice show. We always want to say that for the FDA because they are concerned with consumer safety. It's their number one job. And that's our number one job too, is to keep consumers safe and to keep them from going down the garden path of something that would not be biologically beneficial. We don't talk about that. What we talk about is just wisdom and how to make good choices and how to discern things for yourself and how to enable and empower your body for your best possible life. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So without further ado, I am going to bring you the author of the #1 best-selling Magnesium Miracle, the woman who's living the dream, had the dream, caught the dream, is the dream, and is doing the dream the best way that she knows how, and is inspiring so many, our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean.
And there they are, the children, and Bob walks by and waves at me. It's so funny, Ginny. I had this terrible urge to start screaming something while you were giving that incredible introduction, just totally blowing my cover. I think that would be fun, but I won't do that. No, I won't do that. We have better things to do than be totally silly. So I'm not even going to do the housekeeping, jumping right into a few sidebars that have been building up because we didn't have our show last week. So looks like a month ago, June 12th, a Danish professional soccer player, Christian Eriksen, collapsed during a game in Sweden. He was unconscious and not breathing. He was given CPR, then a defibrillator was put in place and a shock delivered in case he was in ventricular fibrillation. According to the team doctor, Erickson went from being gone to being alive. Sudden death due to ventricular tachyarrhythmias remains a leading cause of death, as it is often a manifestation of heart disease. No, so this is what grabbed me on this, because I've written about sudden cardiac death in younger people that's not related to heart disease. And these statistics kind of caught me off guard. It seems the instance of sudden cardiac death in the US ranges between 180,000 to 450,000 cases annually. Now, they don't know exactly because some of it's related to heart disease and some of it, these people have not had any history of heart disease. So people are just dropping over. Sudden cardiac death accounts for over 50% of all deaths from heart disease and 15 to 20% of all deaths in total. In the US, survival from an out of hospital cardiac arrest varies from 8 to 16%. So Christian was pretty lucky that they just immediately, someone dropped, did CPR, they called for the emergency team, they brought the defibrillator that they have on hand, and boom, he was alive. Sudden cardiac death occurs most frequently in adults in their mid-30s to mid-40s and affects men twice as often as it does women. In over half the cases, as I said earlier, sudden cardiac death occurs without prior symptoms. Most sudden cardiac deaths are caused by abnormal heart rhythms called arrhythmias. And we know about arrhythmias. I mean, how many of our people are taking Remag to deal with their atrial fibrillation and different abnormal arrhythmias? And we tell them, don't stop your drugs, all that. But as they improve, and it's kind of proven that magnesium deficiency was a problem, then they're able to get off their medications. And in my Magnesium Miracle book, I quote a doctor who says that up to 50% of sudden heart attacks may be due to magnesium deficiency. So there we have, evidence right on the TV screen of this young person just dropping over with a sudden heart attack, essentially, and nobody putting together the pieces. Another sidebar, this is about putting viruses into perspective. They're talking about the 182 million people diagnosed worldwide with COVID-19. But did you know that 95% of people worldwide are infected with the Epstein-Barr virus by adulthood? So that's 7.4 billion people that have Epstein-Barr. So viruses they're everywhere. Everybody has been challenged with viruses, and that's why our modus operandi is to stay healthy. Another sidebar, there's a huge attack on supplements again. It's a book by T. Colin Campbell, the author of the China study. Now, he's a big promoter of the vegetarian lifestyle. A lot of us got after him about the China study because so much of his research was inaccurate, where he was trying to prove that whole areas of the world are healthier because people are eating a vegetarian lifestyle. whereas they don't eat a vegetarian lifestyle. They don't eat animal products because they're too expensive, so they're forced to eat a vegetarian lifestyle. But anyway, that's a huge critique that actually you can go online and look up the critique of T. Colin Campbell's China study. Well, he's written another book called Whole, WHOLE, Rethinking the Science of Nutrition. And, they sidebar that by saying it's an eye-opening, paradigm-changing journey through cutting-edge thinking on nutrition, a scientific tour de force with powerful implications for our health. Well, not really. You should see some of the quotes, and I'll just mention a couple. He says in the book, these are quotes from the book, "You may find it hard to swallow the truth of the ineffectiveness and potential harm of supplements." Another quote, "Arguably, the supplement industry has been even more effective in spreading their propaganda than the pharmaceutical industry. After all, supplements are natural. They are the same nutrients you find in food." And on and on and on about researchers finding that they may be dangerous. And another quote, "We now have a ton of studies showing all manner of mechanisms by which beta carotene, vitamin E, and other antioxidant vitamins ought to prevent diseases like heart disease and cancer, but when tested alone, they don't." Of course they don't when tested alone. We don't eat just one food for our entire lives and draw conclusions from that. So it's just very unfortunate what's being said here. And many researchers are now aware of these failed studies. And I guess it's in his bio. For over 50 years, T. Colin Campbell has been at the forefront of nutrition research, authoring more than 300 professional papers. His legacy, the China study, co-authored with his son, et cetera, and now with his son, he's in an effort to launch a grassroots health revolution. Together, they're launching a program intended to bring the empowering message of plant-based nutrition to individuals, work sites, and communities everywhere. This plant-based business is unfortunate. Only 4% of North Americans are vegan or vegetarians, but somehow they're trying to brainwash us into thinking all we need is plants. And I think we were going over this book in our orthomolecular forum, and I mentioned how the synergism of the different vitamins and minerals. Vitamin D needs magnesium to be activated. The thyroid needs 9 minerals to make hormones, et cetera. But besides just stating that these vitamins and minerals are important, there's the absorption factor. And this is where the research, goes crazy. It's mainly research on synthetic supplements and dirt minerals, and they try to research them one at a time, like, what's his name? T. Colin Campbell said, when they're tested one at a time, they don't work. And nobody talks about the absorption factor, which is what, the nut that we've cracked with our formulas. And I said to my orthomolecular group, the point of the draconian Codex Alimentarius is and was to standardize foods and dietary supplements worldwide. With food, they wanted to allow the highest level of contaminants to appease the food industry. And with supplements, they wanted to make them low potency and synthetic so they wouldn't interfere with drugs. And they wanted to put them all on prescription. So that means the supplements they are studying are mostly inferior. So, then I warned them that I was going to plug my study in supplements, where our first published paper in the journal Nutrients showed that a stabilized ion of magnesium in our remag was picometer in size, therefore capable of unimpeded entry into cells and thus higher absorption. An ionized magnesium blood test showed cellular absorption within 2 hours. This means you can take high doses of elemental magnesium, 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams, to saturate the body and treat more than 65 misdiagnosed health conditions that are really magnesium deficiency. And our next study is comparing remag absorption with other forms of magnesium. Another sidebar, a quote from Dr. Abram Hoffer. He, along with Linus Pauling, coined the term orthomolecular medicine, which means the right molecule, ortho, the right molecule medicine. A quote from Abram Hoffer at his 90th birthday celebration in 2007. And he said, "With me are thousands of patients from all over, most of who have benefited from orthomolecular theory and practice. I thank them all for allowing me to give them vitamins and for teaching me how to be a doctor. I thank my colleagues who are still running with me. So many scientists are now joining the run that it will get easier and easier. The future is very bright." Sorry, Abram. I did meet this incredible doctor when I was up in Canada going to various conferences. But I'm sorry, the future is not bright. We have lost the battle. We few people that are talking and listening right now are the only ones that are in the fight. But at least we're healthy, and we have a longevity that will keep us spreading the word for a long time. So, Ginny, those are my sidebars. I'll ask you to come in and comment if you like, and then I'll get to the thyroid blog.
Excellent, excellent. Well, as usual, I agree with everything you say, and I don't want to say that we've lost because we're still out here,
Yeah.
Although sometimes it does feel like Game of Thrones-ish, where Jon Snow is standing up with one sword against a charging army of, horde of people.
Yeah.
But it does feel lonely, let's put it that way. But we know we're surrounded by a lot of great customers and other people who are very concerned about their health right now and are looking for safe solutions. So to that end, I think we're in good shape. But and I know Alan and Elma and everybody on the chat line and all of our wonderful customers and Christy and Lisa and everybody are very grateful that we are not giving up.
Yeah, very good point. Okay, then thyroid is a huge topic. It's just huge. So we put out the blog today. Ginny sent out a blog about thyroid basics. And we're having a webinar actually next Thursday, July 22nd. So this is, I might say most of my words here as well as in the webinar, but it is a complex topic, and you might want to re-listen to this. You'll come to the webinar and go over that as well. Now it's complex in terms of, when we were in med school, most of us were really intimidated by the endocrine disorders. And we were told right from the beginning, look, you're going to be referring these patients, but you should know a bit about what's going on, but you're going to be referring. And when you do go to a specialist, they depend on inaccurate blood testing to prescribe synthetic hormone replacement drugs, which is the main form of treatment, both allopathic and natural medicine doctors. And there's no effort to find the underlying cause of endocrine problems or explore natural solutions. And that's where, I sort of come into the picture, um, saying that the underlying cause of, specifically with the thyroid, is yeast overgrowth, with the yeast toxins blocking the thyroid, and other toxins block the thyroid as well, and mineral deficiencies, because there are 9 minerals that are required to make thyroid hormones. And that, so those are the basics. And when I can say to people, well, you know, there's this complexity, and I'll give you some indication of the complexity so that you won't get too distracted by thinking you have to learn the complexity. I'll say, here's a complexity, but you can ignore it and just give yourself the building blocks and detoxify from yeast. So that's the message. Um, the books that I read when I was writing the thyroid book, actually, we do have a thyroid book, Total Body Reset for Your Thyroid, a free ebook at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and that gives even more detail. But when I read these books, the one by Izabella Wentz, she's a doctor of pharmacology. It's called Hashimoto's Thyroiditis, and she wrote it because she had Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And then there's the Thyroid Connection by medical doctor Amy Myers. She suffered from hyperthyroidism, or it's also called Graves' disease. So they realized they had these conditions, and supposedly overcame them. But let me see. It's probably in the webinar I go over more of these details, but let's look at Hashimoto's. It's called an autoimmune disease wherein thyroid autoantibodies are developed when a person's immune system mistakenly targets components of the thyroid gland, attacking thyroid proteins, leading to chronic inflammation, tissue damage, disruption of thyroid functions. Laboratory tests detect the presence and measure the quantity of specific thyroid autoantibodies in the blood. So, well, what does that mean? I mean, where are these autoantibodies coming from? Why are they doing this? So what I realized, many years ago, was that the yeast toxins from yeast overgrowth, they cross-react with thyroid tissue. And it wasn't me that discovered this. I was working with an immunologist, Dr. Vojdani, Aristo Vojdani, out of LA. He came up to Toronto, set up a lab for me to do testing of food allergens and thyroid yeast toxins, and the cross reaction with thyroid. So I learned about this early on, and nobody in allopathic medicine thought it was real. But I saw that it was, when you start working on your thyroid, when you take the minerals necessary for the thyroid, things balance out. What happened with Izabella Wentz is she spent years and years and years going through symptoms of anxiety and insomnia and aches and pains and everything, all magnesium deficiency symptoms. And then there were a lot of yeast overgrowth symptoms. And finally, she had blood tests. She probably had thyroid blood tests along the way, but finally they came back really abnormal. And she says, "Oh, I've had thyroid disease all along." And she didn't. She had yeast toxins and mineral deficiencies that finally resulted in total body meltdown, where her thyroid, her adrenals were also affected. So, it's if we could catch these conditions way at the beginning by understanding magnesium and mineral deficiencies and yeast overgrowth, we wouldn't get that far. With Graves' disease, similarly, in Dr. Myers' case, she just got really hyper and finally realized with her mood swings and heat sensitivity, weakness, frequent bowel movements, palpitations, that she had hyperthyroidism. And they gave her a drug that caused her a lot of side effects. Again, if she had been treated for her yeast overgrowth and deficiency, we might not see this book actually. So yeah, both these authors discuss the need to find the root cause of thyroid disease. So, they recommend the gluten-free diet, balancing gut flora, stress reduction, supporting the immune system, and that's what we do as well in with our protocols. They all go together. Mm, so I say that thyroid patients may suffer all these associated symptoms, but it's not necessarily because of thyroid disease itself. The true root causes, mineral deficiency and yeast overgrowth, lead to a breakdown in the endocrine system, which always involves the thyroid. The breakdown doesn't usually include the adrenals, sex hormones, immune system, and the heart, kidneys, liver, gut, and brain. And then there's the environmental pollutants that block thyroid hormone receptors. And this gets to the point where thyroid hormones may appear normal in blood tests, but the thyroid hormones can't get inside the cells to do their work because of the hormone receptor blocking. So that's another situation where uh, getting rid of the receptor blockers, such as yeast toxins, and stay away from chlorine in your water, staying away from fluoride in your toothpaste will help get rid of some of these toxins. Um, okay, magnesium deficiency also plays a role in controlling calcium. And we know we're becoming overcalcified, but I came across uh, this information recently, and I put it in the thyroid webinar that's happening next week. So, calcitonin is a hormone secreted by the thyroid that works to lower blood calcium levels, keeping them in balance. When calcitonin is decreased, there's a corresponding increase in calcium. And I recently learned that calcitonin blocking drugs are being prescribed for the treatment of migraine headaches, presumably to manipulate calcium. So, as I said, when calcium is increased, there's a corresponding decrease in magnesium. The use of this new class of drugs made me question the role of calcitonin in thyroid disease. And then I found out that when there's a decreased function in thyroid tissue, there's an associated decrease in the production of calcitonin, and that's an increase in calcium. Um, it then occurred to me that if you have hypothyroidism, you do need more magnesium in order to offset the higher amounts of calcium that are a result of the hypothyroidism and the low calcitonin. So I remember, still to this day, customers come to us and say that they're on T3, T4 drugs to treat their hypothyroidism, and they still have symptoms. So if hypothyroidism were only due to a lack of thyroid hormones, then thyroid replacement therapy should cure the problem, but often it does not. Patients who don't feel normal when given synthetic thyroid hormones often try natural thyroid hormone replacement. Sometimes that's enough to normalize their thyroid function, but again, it doesn't help everyone. And in my experience, people begin to feel better when they take our Remag and Remite so that they're getting saturation doses of magnesium to treat this excess calcium. And they're also getting the 8 other minerals from Remite that help the thyroid make hormones. So just to emphasize this a bit more, the magnesium deficiency symptoms that are often misdiagnosed as hypothyroid include PMS, joint aches and pains, headaches, migraine, stiffness, numbness, tingling in the fingers, tendinitis, high blood pressure, ADHD, sleep apnea, fatigue, heavy periods, low endurance, Raynaud's, anxiety, constipation. I mean, that's a lot of symptoms because, you know, what I did actually in the thyroid book was I listed 80 hypothyroid symptoms that research has, uncovered. But a lot of those are magnesium and mineral deficiency symptoms. So I thought that was very interesting how calcitonin plays a role. Let me see if I can quickly get to some of these thyroid blog questions. Jennifer's asking, is nutritional yeast daily a bonus for hypothyroidism? Well, nutritional yeast, I first heard about it in that it had chromium and it was great for prediabetes and diabetes. It also has a lot of the B vitamins, or probably all the B vitamins, so it can be very useful. You do have to test it to make sure it doesn't cross-react with your yeast. I don't think it does. Personally, it doesn't for me. Now, this came in, and I wasn't going to say go over it online, but on the show, and I did answer this gentleman through Melody Rose, customer service. And Greg says, I'm a disabled Vietnam Marine vet suffering from chemical poisoning from Agent Orange and toxic water poisonings. I have a VA lab test scheduled in August. What type of exams must I demand from the VA? So I had to say that, I'm sorry, Greg, I'm not in practice, so I'm not current with what testing the VA can do, but they must have some programs for vets who were exposed. I just did an online search and there seems to be research going on. All we recommend at RNA Reset is to take the building blocks that help the body recover from toxins. For me, the first ones would be Pico Silver, which stimulates stem cell production in the bone marrow, and Remag, which is responsible for 80% of known metabolic functions. Unfortunately, the VA is not a proponent of vitamins and minerals to assist the structure and function of the body. Rose is asking, can taking too much raw desiccated T3 cause atrial fibrillation? If so, can the heart be brought back into rhythm with magnesium? I've weaned off the T3 over a 2-week period over 3 months ago, but the quivering, fluttering, and or pounding pulse have never gone away. I take 300 milligrams of Remag daily. Now, 300 milligrams is just 1 teaspoon, which is less than the RDA. I recommend, twice the RDA at least. And the thing about any form of thyroid hormone, natural or synthetic, it can push the heart. It increases metabolism. Hyperthyroidism is too much thyroid hormone. And medically, I can't answer that question. We do know that the magnesium will help balance the electrolytes and can balance heart arrhythmias, but I can't say anything more than that. I would ask Rose to read my heart health book. It's a free download at our, drcarolyndeanlive.com. Someone here, who is it? I don't see the name, is asking about benign follicular thyroid nodule, looking at dietary natural ways to treat my thyroid. Thyroid blood work is normal. I would appreciate knowing if there's anything specific re nodules. Well, nodules are interesting. They're either solid or fluid filled. You could say cysts, but cysts implies something else. So they're usually rounded in shape and they form within your thyroid. Most thyroid nodules are benign, do not cause symptoms, but no one can say what causes them. They'll say there are factors responsible, such as deficiency of iodine. So, that's me telling you to take more thyroid minerals, and one of them is iodine. But there's 9 of them. It's not just iodine. Overgrowth of normal thyroid tissue, but what's causing that? Fluid-filled cavities or cysts. Well, what's causing that? These are the factors responsible for the formation of thyroid nodules. They say thyroiditis or chronic inflammation, but what's causing that? Hashimoto's disease, but again, what's causing that? So they really have no causative factor. The autoimmune conditions where the immune system attacks the thyroid, thinking it's yeast toxins, for example, yeast toxins cross-reacting with thyroid tissue. But I'd also put in here the total biology aspect of thyroid. Thyroid deals with metabolism. And if a person wants to slow down time in order to, say, spend more time with a dying loved one, then they can slow down their metabolism. And a thyroid nodule can serve that purpose if the tissue in the thyroid nodule does not produce hormone. You can have a low hormone nodule, or you can have a high hormone nodule. The converse is in someone who wants to speed up time, get a project over with, get school done. They go hyper, increase their metabolism, and the thyroid nodule can produce high amounts of thyroid hormone. Now, nodules aren't the only way of a person having hypothyroid or hyperthyroid, but that's my interpretation of nodules, which are abnormal tissue, knowing that in total biology, in order to solve a problem in the mind, like an irresolvable conflict, the body will create some sort of physical manifestation, and it's often in the form of excess tissue to solve a problem. Total biology is pretty fascinating. Who's this? Paula is saying, do you believe that the cause of all thyroid disorders is the Epstein-Barr virus, as does Anthony Williams? Now, he's the psychic who claims everything is due to Epstein-Barr. Paula says, thank you, bless you. After 40 plus years, you remain my number one go-to for invaluable health and well-being resource information. And thank you for the Reset supplements, which are making an incredible positive difference to my physical and mental health. So that's Paula, a former patient from Toronto. So this Anthony Williams business, this came in after I had put the note about Epstein-Barr. In fact, 95% of adults. So you can say any disease or any condition in the world is associated with Epstein-Barr because everybody has had Epstein-Barr. So I really don't support what Anthony Williams says. He's also, I think, a strict vegetarian, gets everybody on celery juice, and to me, it's not an overall good protocol for people, but people like to be told what to do instead of taking responsibility for their own health. 2 more. Jan says, I just turned 62. I need to know if it's safe for me to take a Remite since it contains iodine. Diagnosed with Graves' disease in 2017. So what she was told, what they're all told, about Graves' disease is don't take iodine because it'll make too much thyroid hormone. You've already got too much. So what I do in the thyroid book, Total Body Reset for Your Thyroid, is tell people to only take 1 dose of Remite a day to get half the RDA, because we do need iodine in our body. So to deprive us of it 100% is probably not healthy. Also, in the Remite, you have all the other minerals that help balance the thyroid hormone so that you're not just pushing with iodine. But I can't tell Jan, yes, okay, go ahead, don't worry, take it. I mean, if she wanted to try it, I personally, I would just start with, 10 drops and see how I felt, because she does talk about Clostridium difficile infection 2011. She does wonder about a yeast treatment. She could be doing the Flora Revive and the Pico Silver without having to take Remite. But what people don't realize is iodine is necessary in the production of peroxidase. And peroxidase is what makes the white blood cells attack infectious organisms. So without iodine, people do have problems with their immune system and fighting off bacteria, as I understand this whole situation. Who is this? Carol is saying, I'm 64, diagnosed with Hashimoto's and then hypothyroidism many years ago. Main complaint is joint pain similar to rheumatoid arthritis with hard nodules on the joints of my feet. So she's asking, and she's on Synthroid for her thyroid, and she's wondering if Synthroid has been causing this joint pain. I don't know. I mean, there's so many side effects with these drugs, but certainly the toxins from drugs will cause side effects and can build up in the joints. And I don't know about nodules, but we certainly do know that our customers, far older than Carol, have been on our formulas and have, with the Remag lotion on their hands and the oral formulas, they've really benefited and lost their rheumatoid arthritis blood test factors. So, Jenny, there's some noise here. I am done with the questions. Do you hear that terrible noise outside?
Yes, actually, I do. It sounds like aliens are landing or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of these leaf blowers.
Oh, yes.
Or somewhere else. But so that's sort of the thyroid.
Nope, we lost you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, very good.
Jenny?
Well,
yeah.
That is absolutely one of the most comprehensive presentations I've ever heard you do on the thyroid. It must really be on your mind lately.
Yeah, with the webinar and everything, then it is. And I keep sort of realizing apart how complex it is, but then we'll say how if you just look at the toxins and you look at the minerals, we do have a very good shot at treating this condition. I mean, what stands in our way, except, as some people say to us, well, it's just too easy. How can that be? How is it possible?
Right. No, I agree. And the great thing about Remite is it's, really good for the thyroid, but those minerals are just essential in every part of the body all the time. So it's advantageous to everything. It really is. It really is.
Right. And this whole peroxidase business, I was exposed to that decades ago in Canada, where a doctor was giving high dose iodine for fibrocystic breast disease. And he explained to me the whole peroxidase system. And, you know, it sounded wonderful. A lot of his patients, they got rid of their fibroadenomas in their breasts. But then, you know, I wasn't around, or I wasn't doing it with him. I send a couple of patients, but I think then patients began to run into problems with having too much iodine. So there's always this balance that we have to achieve.
Well, do you think that's why, like, one of the people on the chat line wrote in, Dr. Alan Christensen says that Hashimoto folks should avoid all forms of iodine. Do you agree with that?
No, of course not. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's not. I've noticed him recently. You know, he's a big thyroid guy. I mean, they specialize in. Well, I specialize in magnesium, of course, but it takes me to the whole body. But he's not thinking about the other 8 minerals that are necessary to make thyroid hormones, or the fact that, yes, you take your iodine, but then the next step in the pathway is selenium. So if you have selenium, then the right metabolism occurs, and then you go to the next step, which is another mineral. So when they just put everything onto iodine is a problem and say, well, you can't take any of that. I mean, how many times have we heard that argument? Oh, you know, magnesium is going to support Lyme disease. The Lyme organism needs magnesium, so people shouldn't take magnesium. I mean, this is crazy. Avoidance was the treatment for everything back, 20, 30 years ago. And I just thought it didn't make any sense.
I agree completely. Okay, very good. Excellent, excellent. Okay, let's see. What do we've got going on here? Lots of great people on the chat line. Hello, everybody. Just to confirm, because we have some new listeners on chat as well. If you have a question for Dr. Dean, what you want to do is call into the show at the number that's here on the YouTube channel or in any of our correspondence, which is 646-558-8657. And then the ID number 8836953587. Or you can zoom in to the Zoom link like Lisa and Christy did. They just zoomed in. Zoom. You can also just type your question into the chat line if you'd like. But if you want that direct interaction with Dr. Dean, which I always recommend, I get to do it all the time. It's very beneficial. Then definitely call in. When you get in here, hit *9 on the keypad. *9 is going to raise your hand and let us know that you have a question or comment, and then we will put you on the phone with Dr. Dean. And we do have some callers waiting, I think probably because we weren't here last week, Carolyn, and I think even the week before we ran out of time. Would you mind starting with some phone calls?
Oh, no. Go ahead, no problem.
All right, very good. All right, so when I call out your area code, for example, I'm going to call out 719. When I call out your area code, you'll want to hit *6 on your phone to unmute, and then we'll bring you into the call with Dr. Dean. So again, area code 719, if you want to hit *6, we'll bring you into the call tonight. Go ahead, please. Area code 719. Hello, 719. You've got to hit *6 on your phone. Area code 719. Okay, maybe they slipped away from the phone. So I will have to come back because we've got so many calls waiting. So let's go to area code 718. Oh, 718. Area code. There you are. Hello, love.
Hello, Jenny. It's Alan Board.
Alan.
How are you?
Awesome.
So I have a question for Dr. Dean. I just got my blood test results back from the Grassroots Health. I'm happy to say that my thyroid numbers have gone well into the green area. They went down to 1.9, so that's good. I think. Yeah, that's the result of taking the Remite religiously for a long time, about 5-6 months. It really is amazing. It went from 3.2 to 1.9.
Oh,
So,
very good. Wow.
Yeah. My next question, my D went from 18 to 31, which is also good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a but. There's always a but somewhere. The thing that went down, which shocked me, is the magnesium. And I will tell you what. I wonder if it's because I'm taking 10,000. I'm taking 2 of the D3K2 pills. Let me see if I could find it. Where is it? Which one did I say went down? The magnesium. The magnesium went from 74 in February to 56. No. I'm sorry. I wish it went to 56. It went to 49.
Right. Well, 49 is still good, but that's exactly what happened to me, Alan, because when you take good amounts of vitamin D to, more than double your vitamin D, you're going to use up more magnesium. That's all that happens.
So I went from since I got the results, I've gone from 1.5 teaspoons to 2.
Yeah.
I think that should do for that.
Yeah, and if you're feeling well and you don't think you have to use more to treat something, then you're doing the right thing by every 3 to 6 months getting your testing and watching how you're improving. You don't want to overdo it. I mean, in medicine, we would overdo, you should take 4 teaspoons, and then you'd have too much. So you're doing exactly the right thing.
All right. Now, there's one last thing. I don't even pay them for this on the testing because I bought the test through you. They gave me a mercury number. I don't know why. That was very generous of them. But the mercury, it said, was 6.88, which is like 0.1 away from being bad. Now, I have to admit, even though I have your wonderful omega-3 pills, I had some old stuff left that I was using that was made from tuna fish oil. Do you think that could be where the mercury number is coming from?
Have you had mercury fillings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all did. I mean, it's possible that it's just you have some still in your tissues. What happens is the mercury will hide in the fat cells, and fat cells break down.
I got those.
Yeah, okay. And release some mercury. So, I mean, I think it's just standard. I just say to people, well, keep taking your Realign and your Remag, and these things will eventually wear themselves out.
All right. So Realign, I take 2 pills a day. Should I go higher than that?
No, but maybe you would go to 2.5 teaspoons of Remag.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll keep up. Well, let me start with the 2. It takes time to get used to the extra half a teaspoon, but I'll do that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And the other thing, Alan, with the vitamin D, for men, for protecting the prostate, Grassroots Health does talk about being more like 60 to 90. So.
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to get there. I mean, should I up my pills from 2 to 3?
I don't think so, because then you'll mess up your magnesium again. Work on your magnesium for the next couple of months.
Okay.
And the vitamin D will increase.
I definitely want to get the D up there. I'm happy that it made it to 31, but I know I have a ways to go still.
Okay, great. Yeah,
thank
excellent.
you.
Okay, thank you. Good overview.
Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alan. Bye-bye. Yay.
Yay, that's awesome. Alan's rocking it out. That's very cool.
I know, and he did mention his TSH improved, and just for people who don't know what that's all about, what did he say? It was like 4, and then went down to 1.9. Well, what that means is when it's above 2.2, it means your pituitary is petting out something called thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, to push your thyroid to work harder. It's like, damn you, you're not making enough. I'm going to pound you until you do. And if it doesn't, then the TSH keeps going up. And then doctors wait until it's like 5 or 6 and say, oh, we better give you thyroid hormone replacement. But anyway, instead, Alan was religious about his remite, and his levels went down to normal, 1.9. Awesome.
Yeah, very good. I say get out in some sunshine, Alan. It is summertime, Dr. Dean, you're out in the sun all the time with your...
Just my legs. I put my legs in the sun.
You put your legs in the sun. In the sun. She's always sending me the most glorious pictures of sunrise there. So yes, get a little sun too. Okay, now let's see what's next. We've only got a few minutes to the top of the hour, and then we'd have to do our crossover. So do you have one or two, the testimonial, anything you want to share? And then we'll pick up the calls right again after we come back.
Well, yes, remember we got this whole host of testimonials from our doctor, one of our doctors in Taiwan.
Oh, yes.
He said he fell in love with Pico Silver. It looks like he's spreading it all over the place. And he, I think he gave us like a dozen testimonials, and they're short, so I'll say them. Used for skin rash, itching was terrible. Used Pico Silver to spray the affected part. Relieved it a lot in 2 days. 2, Pico Silver is a good product. Has the best defensibility when catching a cold. It's my daily protection. 3, helped me with the following: sore throat and irritation, nasal congestion, infection of private parts, itchy skin outside. Spray on cotton. Made silver paste on the affected area. Allergic skin. This is probably a practitioner who's reporting all this. Allergic skin, red and swollen with small bumps. Sprayed with silver, moistened with cotton. Hong Kong foot or atopic dermatitis, covered with silver moistened cotton. Eyes are infected with secretions. Use silver spray. I soon feel refreshed. Inflamed ears, use spray. Used in ear, cotton swab dipped in silver. The pollen strikes every spring and my eyes are very itchy. I usually go to the pharmacy to buy medicine. This year, because of the epidemic, I spray Pico Silver to my itchy areas 2 times a day. After 2 days, it won't itch. It solves my big event every spring. So these are people who are, English is not their first language. Pico Silver helped me on the hands, sprayed it to prevent infection, spray on eyes and skin when itching. The wart on the side of the finger for 2 years, moistened with cotton and silver. Inflammation of the gums, spray the throat with silver. Eyes are dry and itchy, tonsils inflamed, gums swollen, sore, nasal congestion, very effective. Granddaughter's eyes squinted, sprayed her eyes with silver every day, better. Gums inflamed, morning and evening spray eyes and nose. Pico Silver is great. This is the last one. I had migraine for 3 weeks, although I used Remag to heal, but no outstanding remission. Then I used Pico Silver 5 teaspoons. About 2 to 3 hours, it's completely healed. I'm so happy to solve my big problem of migraine.
Oh, very good. We'll leave on that note, and we'll be back with the next hour right here on Dream Vision 7 Radio.
Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hour 2, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love. Yeah, it's, so true. Everybody at this station is just the sweetest. Deborah is amazing, and so is Rachel, and we have such a great time with everybody. So thank you guys for always being there in the background and being your super coolio selves. I want to go back to the phones. Carolyn, are you ready?
I'm ready, Ginny.
Okay, now We're going to go to 719 and see if they've been able to get to the phone to their unmute button. So 719.
Hello.
Hello, love.
Hi. I was here before saying, I'm here. I don't know what happened.
Go ahead, love.
Anyway, this is Pamela, and I don't know exactly clearly what I want to ask today, but I'm having difficulty with my doctor wanting me to do the exact opposite of what I want to do because I want to do what you're recommending for me. She wants me to get off of potassium and magnesium and salt because of the blood test that she did on me. And I don't know exactly what she means by, she has said at most of the doctors I've been to have said I have AFib, and then all of a sudden I said something, I can't remember what, and she said, oh, maybe it's just an extra beat. Let me go check again. So she goes back and checks and comes back and says, oh, it's just an extra beat. You don't have an AFib. The next time I go back, she tells me again that I have AFib.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So I don't know what to do.
Right. Is there a chance of getting a different doctor?
Well, that's what I've been searching for the last several years. I thought I had finally found somebody, but obviously I haven't. I do have some names I can call and check with, but I don't really know how to find this kind of a doctor.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a doctor who's, maybe an older doctor who's not so much into drugs, and he'll look at the tests or to, even to remember. I mean, to not remember from one appointment to the next that you don't have AFib is pretty, that's pretty bad,
Well, no, she remembered that part, but she didn't remember that that my blood tests showed before that my magnesium was going to be really high. And I told her before she ever did it that it was going to, because I was following your protocol.
Right.
So it just goes round and round.
Right. And I don't know what to say to you. I mean, they're using a serum magnesium test that's inaccurate anyway. I don't know if you're going to afford to get an RBC test, or have you done our grassroots health test? We can send you a free home test kit so that we can find out some of these values.
Well, you did send me one of these, and I sent it in a long time ago, and I can't figure out any response. They say that they responded to me, and when I go into the website, I don't see what I would think I would have to see to see.
Okay, then we'll have to call into customer service and ask them to go through that with you.
Yeah. Pamela, you've got to get a hold of Lisa in customer service. She will be an intermediary, and she will help you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because if we can show that your magnesium is okay, then it'll, relieve everybody, and then we can go from there.
Okay. All right. Oh, I was also wondering, I did see someplace here that you have said that the magnesium and the calcium should be 1-to-1, meaning the same number of milligrams, right?
Well, that's a generalization. These are, I mean, what you would do, and I know you said you didn't know quite how to, ask your questions. If you could write them all out and then talk to Lisa, I can be, they can let me know if there are any questions I should answer. But it sounds like there's a lot going on. We don't want to give you medical information that goes against your doctor. So, we want to know exactly the numbers, for example. We want to find out your grassroots health test results before saying anything. Okay?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I tried to get a hold of the last blood test. I wanted to be able to tell you today, but it didn't come yet. So.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
The numbers are important because, yes, go ahead. You were going to say?
No, go ahead. I'm fine.
So Lisa, email support@rnareset.com and say you were on the radio show and you'd like to talk with Lisa, or get an email from Lisa about your grassroots health tests.
Okay, I did send you an email a couple of weeks ago. Did you not get that? I never heard back from anybody about it.
Well, when you don't hear back within a day, you have to, you have to try again. Sometimes things get lost. You are, responsible for you. So if you didn't get the answer you want, you just keep hammering away, because we're here. We're here,
Okay.
but things get lost. You're not being ignored,
Oh, I didn't think that. I just thought it might have gotten switched around or something.
Right.
But, okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I appreciate being able to talk to you tonight.
Okay, Pamela. And yeah, we'll help you out. Don't worry. But you be sure to get in touch with Lisa. Ginny will let Lisa know you're going to be in touch, and we'll get on to Grassroots Health, and perhaps Lisa will go into the site with you and figure out exactly where your results are. Okay.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Pamela. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, we are here constantly. Yes. And so bringing up that point, if you're listening to the archive or if you're on the show and you do have a question or comment and you want to get that answered, you can use the support, SUPPORT at RNA Reset, or just email the show, which is questions, QUESTIONS at drcarolyndeanlive.com, questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and Melody Rose, who is Dr. Dean's faithful scribe, will get on there and she will track your answer down to the ends of the earth and all kinds of other things, and you'll get the support you need. And we do answer everything in 24 hours, sometimes 15 minutes, but definitely in 24 hours, even on the weekend. So if you don't get that immediate response, please definitely get back to us. Okay. Carolyn, on with the phone calls. I do just want to ask this question really quick on the chat line, which is how much Remag and Remite would I take each day for a high TSH of 13? I do already take them every day with the other formulas. I just take a regular size. So I don't know what that means exactly, Linda. Can you tell me if you're 1/3 teaspoon, how much Remite are you taking? And then we'll get an answer from Dr. Dean, unless you can think of something right away, Carolyn.
Well, the TSH of 13, I mean, I think we better go through tier 2 questions, because I need to know, is it Hashimoto's? Are there thyroid antibodies? Are we looking at all the ways to reduce the antibodies on yeast treatment? So this is not something like a doctor would do. I have this, what drug will I take? That's not the way it works when you have a TSH that high. I would need more information to help support.
Okay, so email your response, Linda, to questions through the radio show, questions, QUESTIONS at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and Melody Rose will help you get that information as she's able. All right, let's go on with our phone calls here today, and let's go to area code 704. 704, you're on the line with Dr. Dean as soon as you hit *9 704. Hello, welcome to the call. Go ahead, please.
Hello, and thank you so much. This is Deborah in North Carolina, and I am first-time caller, first-time finding information. Love Dr. Dean and what I have heard of her. Thank you so much for taking my call. My question goes back to thyroid issues, but the doctors keep telling me that I am within the normal range. But I definitely believe in God, his principles, all the things and principles that you teach, Dr. Carolyn. And that is, of course, all the natural things we need to do. So I've been trying to do that for years for myself, because I knew what they were telling me wasn't correct. But I've been trying to get to the root cause of some of the issues. But I had ovarian cancer back in 2000. So thank God I'm a miracle 20 plus years later. But they found a cyst on my right ovary they thought was a grapefruit. It wound up being the size of a volleyball, weighed 10 pounds, had shut down my right kidney. So I was functioning on one kidney also, didn't know it. And after they did a full hysterectomy in my 40s, it sent me straight into the change, of course. But I refused to take the hormone replacements because a lot of them cause cancer. And I had just had beginning stages cancer. But what couple of my questions are is starting your program, which is what I want to do. And I've been kind of following you over the years, but I had cancer. My husband had a stroke. We lost a lot of things and pretty much starting over. So financially, as much as I wanted to do, I wasn't able. It was either a roof over our head or do a lot of the things that I needed to purchase for our bodies. And at the time, we had to keep a roof. But I said all that to say this. Yes, please go ahead, because I apologize. I'm just trying not to be too lengthy, but throw it all in. But please, you were about to say something. I apologize.
No, I'm just thinking what you've gone through, and yes, it is. You have to keep the roof over your head, and it looks like, as you say, you've had some miracles happen already. So you're ready for your next miracle.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So what I was really wondering and excited about is, I know you have some combination packages, but with my kind of background and doing what I'm doing, what would be your suggestion package for me to start with? And I'm open to other things as well to add, but a combination package, if you could suggest one, I would be very appreciative.
Well, it's Deborah, it's much like I said to Linda, there's a lot going on, and, we're not recipe givers here.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't say, oh, you had this and that, well, take this, and really, at the basis of what we do the same thing for everybody, in a sense, because we're helping support cells. We don't treat disease or anything like that. We just support the structure and function of the cells in the body. But what we should do is get you to email into Melody Rose at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com, and tell her the story, or briefly, because she's going to send you a questionnaire that just goes over the basics, so that then we can figure out who you should talk to, what we should start you with. I mean, we used to just say to people, well, start with Remag and see how you feel. And now, as you noticed, we have different packages and bundles and protocols and whatever. I mean, if a person has a lot of yeast overgrowth, we start there. Or if there's a lot of anxiety, we start there. But in your case, are you still having any symptoms of the lack of hormones? Did you go through hot flashes and all that?
I did go through all of that, and thank God I can say pretty much over now. I don't have them but every blue moon, but I just believe all those years of having them and not having something else to help my hormones probably was a little detrimental to me. But I have just naturally done a lot of things that have helped me, even with some of the natural hormone creams, the wild Mexican yam, things like that. But I'm pretty much past that stage. But and even the skin disorders, I helped heal those myself naturally and got off all the steroids, because I had steroid drops, steroid creams, and I know those over long periods of time because I just researched and prayed and asked the Lord to help me. And of course, your information was life-saving for me, life-changing. So I'm so grateful. And I was so thrilled to speak to you today to tell you that as well. Even though I couldn't get some of the products, your information helped me. You taking questions from other people that were some of the same questions I had. So I'm so eternally grateful. But I did want to ask a part two on the free grassroots health test, I believe. Is that, how do I go about getting that? Would that be helpful for me to kind of get that and see where I am on some things?
Oh yeah, now that would be perfect. That's right, Deborah. Then Ginny, does Deborah go to Lisa for that or Melody Rose?
I'm trying to get my phone unmuted. You know what? If she emails Melody Rose will get it for her. It's no problem.
So Melody Rose will do everything. Questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. Say, Carolyn wants me to fill out the questionnaire, and she'd like me to take the grassroots health test, because that would be the perfect starting point. But I don't hear that you have a lot of symptoms that we can focus on. You just want to get healthy overall, correct?
That is correct. I am dealing with some of the thyroid issues, like the sleepless. I'm not sleeping a lot at night sometimes, and the weight gain, it kind of fluctuates and yo-yos, and I know that's not good for me. I'm trying to get it stabilized.
Okay.
And then after they removed the cyst, of course, my right side of my body was bigger, but after they removed it, they thought it would kind of go down and balance out over the years. And needless to say, it has not. Everything on my right is excessively larger. So it makes me think that I had some type of issues with my, what do you call your system? Your lymphatic system. And I didn't know if there was something else that would help as well, because it's excessively larger on the right, including that right side of my abdomen where they removed the cyst.
I see. Okay, yeah. So these are things that we'll take into consideration, because the sleepless, it can be thyroid, it can be magnesium, weight gain. If a person is toxic, you can gain weight and lymph fluid as well. So there's a few things that we can help you sort out, and we'll just do it step by step. Send you the Grassroots Health test kit, get those results, and help support you in your protocols.
Well, thank you, and God bless you. It's just such an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to speak with you finally, and just let you know how you still helped me so long in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you too, Deborah. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Awesome.
Absolutely lovely. Beautiful, beautiful caller. Thank you so much. All right, we press on. Area code 562. 562. I'm asking you to unmute your phone. Hello, come into the call.
Hello, it's Nancy.
Nancy.
Yep, I'm back. All right, my first question before I forget what I'm doing, because my brain is not working well, is I'm low in silica. And I bought some liquid silica, and it says to do a teaspoon and 6 to 8 ounces of water. Is there any reason I can't put it in with my other minerals, my remite, and whatever, in that quart of water?
Okay, Nancy, how do you know you're low in silica?
Well, I've done well, first of all, my fingernails and my skin's not doing well, but I've done the Oligoscan, which you still got to look into, and it has consistently shown the silica lower than it needs to be.
Yeah. And yes, a liquid silica you could put in with your other minerals. That would not be a problem.
Okay. All right. Then the other thing, this is going to be sort of butchered, so I'll try to. Let me talk about my husband first. He's been taking remite, and I don't remember how long. I think he's at 2 teaspoons, but he had a TSH back in March of 1.74, which is good. But then then it became sort of obvious that it has become sort of obvious that things were not going well. So last week, he went and got a TSH done, and it was 0.2.
Is he on? Nancy, let me get it straight. You're saying TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone?
Yes.
Wow. And is he on remite?
Yes.
Okay,
It's on
then,
Remite, and some more of your products. I don't remember which ones.
right. I mean, it's not dangerous but if it's bumped down like that, it means that he's making a little more thyroid hormones than he needs to. So I
Right.
would cut the Remite in half, personally.
Okay. Well, what he's on levothyroxine. So he talked to the doctor on Friday after he'd gotten the blood test back on Wednesday, and he said skip it for 3 days and then cut the pills in half and go to 44, which is what he's doing, which probably will be fine in 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. We'll do another blood test just to make sure where he is. But it the Remite definitely makes a difference.
I see. Yeah, I didn't know about the Levo. So yes, so stay with the Remite because that's healing the thyroid, and your doctor is smart enough to cut him back on the drug. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
Perfect.
so that's a yay, hooray. Now, I don't know if you remember, I also have been on levothyroxine, but he's only been on since 2019. So he doesn't have that much time on it, which is a good thing, and hopefully not much more time on it if he gets all the way off. But I've been on since I was probably my 30s. I've been on at least 35 years.
Yeah.
And I was gradually decreasing my levothyroxine, and then I lost track of it, or I don't know what happened, but I quit reducing it, and was taking the Remite, and the person that I was sort of helping me figure it out was gone for a month, which didn't help anything, and so then I ended up with all of these gosh awful. I mean, I realized all of a sudden my symptoms are horrible, and so I did not go ahead and do a blood test because I skipped a day and then I cut back some the way I had been doing it, which was lowering specific pills by go from 88 to 75, 1 day a week or 2 days a week or whatever. So anyway, I'm in the middle of that, so I've been over medicated also because the Remite is working and it's healing my thyroid, yay! But it's just difficult right now, but especially when your brain cells don't want to talk to each other.
Yeah, Nancy, it's like a science project. That's you're in the middle of, right?
Right.
But
now,
at least you're on the right track. You the body's kicking in and getting better. So yeah, you just have to get a notebook and write it down every day what you're doing.
Right. Well, I've got that. I know what I'm doing. It's just that at one point I had gone from 400s 4 days a week, 100 micrograms, and I would lower each one of them, like one per week or one per every 2 weeks or something or other, to 88. So I got into where I was 88 7 days a week. And then for some reason I got interrupted in my brain someplace, and I quit lowering it. And the Remite kept working.
Right.
And so I got in trouble. But then that helped me recognize that he was in trouble, which was a good thing.
Right. Very, very good. Yes, I understand. And it's good information for the people who are listening too, to know that we do have to pay attention to being on a thyroid medication. When you're on Remite, you're going to make your own thyroid and you don't need as much of the drug.
And you can end up in real trouble too if you don't pay attention to that. It's very important.
Yes. And the trouble Nancy's talking about, heart palpitations, and you feel hot, you're not sleeping. So it can be like, being hyperthyroid. And if the doctor isn't on top of things, they can misdiagnose you. So yeah, keep on top of it.
Well, and he wasn't having blatant symptoms. I mean, he was grumpy. He was not sleeping. I can't say that he was hyper. He didn't say anything about his heart, but it was obvious something was wrong, and all of a sudden it registered with me that I was not okay. And then it made it pay attention to him and got a blood test, and sure enough, he wasn't okay.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you sorted it out. Very good. And
Now, you said,
what else have you got?
well, you said one time, I think it was to detoxify, or especially yeast overgrowth, was to use clay and something. And what did you say? And
Pico silver.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much of each?
Well, it depends on the area you're covering, and it's enough to make a paste that'll stick to whatever you're covering.
Well, I feel like I may have some yeast overgrowth just sort of internally.
Then that's our yeast management, which is our Pico Silver, and the Flora Revive, which is, has our antifungal and the probiotic.
Right. All right. I'm taking Flora Revive. But do I take a clay silver combination internally or not?
No.
Okay. It's just a clay paste for external stuff.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I don't remember what else because my brain is not working well at all, and I got to wait a couple of weeks because I've just readjusted my stuff before I do another TSH.
Right. Well, just keep notes. When something comes to mind, write it down, and then you can email into customer service and ask any question you want. Okay.
Okay. Now, when I on down the line. All right, in the midst of this, I don't cut back the Remite because I want it still to keep on getting healthier.
Yeah.
But eventually, when I cut back on Remite, and how will I do that, and how will I know to do it?
Well, the Remite, I just keep it at 1.5 teaspoons a day. Pretty standard. Okay. So that'll be a maintenance dose.
Okay, maintenance. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and you've given us a lot of information here. Thank you so much, Nancy. And I'm glad your husband's feeling better and he's not grumpy at you anymore.
He definitely is feeling better. The doctor told him to skip it for 3 days in a row and then cut back half.
Yeah.
And he's definitely beginning to sleep better. It's not settled yet, but it's, I mean, for it to drop from 1.74 to 0.2 since just from March till July is a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, okay, well, lesson learned. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care, hon. Bye-bye.
Fun callers tonight. Thank you, everybody, for calling and sharing your thoughts and your ideas with Dr. Dean and asking your questions. It really does help everybody in the audience. Very, very grateful for your contribution. Let's go to area code 203. Area code 203. If you could hit *6 on your phone to unmute area code 203. You're on with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then ask your question or comment.
Hi, this is Barb and Linda.
Hi, Barb.
Hi. So I have a question. I have this challenge for it's chronic, and I have blood vessels that split, that just that break in my, like Sunday it happened. It doesn't happen that often, but Sunday it happened, and when it breaks, it broke in my pinky. And and sometimes it's when I lift something and I didn't notice anything that I lifted on Sunday, and so it broke. And then when it breaks, it burns and it's itchy, and I got to get an ice cube and put it on it. And then the day after that, what day is today? The
Monday.
Day after. Today's Monday. Okay, so it must have happened Saturday. So Sunday it was very, very black and blue, and it never happened before, but it went numb, And so we have a TENS unit at home. And Linda said, why don't you try the TENS unit? And now it's fine. It's not even black and blue. And the TENS unit helped. The feeling came back. But today, why I'm calling you is today it happened again on the same hand, but on my palm. And it's just a little black and blue. And it's right under my thumb. It's right in the middle of my palm, kind of on the right-hand side middle. And I put I put ice on that, and it stings when it happens. If I'm not around ice, it really is itchy and stings.
Okay.
And it's just so odd.
You're getting broken blood vessels in tight areas like the palm and the fingers. The blood that flows out will feel tight and inflamed and itchy and tingly. It'll kind of irritate the nerves. So the question is, do you bruise other places? If you bang against something, do you bruise up?
No, not usually. So that's just why I don't really have many health challenges at all. I'm
okay.
Really
so,
healthy.
well, what it means to me is that your capillaries are there's a weakness in your capillaries. I don't know why, but except I would say that it's a vitamin C deficiency. Are you taking Whole C Reset?
Oh, wow. No, I'm not. And you know what? We got the vitamin C. Oh, I eat strawberries. We eat so much fruit. You have no idea how much. I mean,
doesn't
frozen
matter.
fruit.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
That's not, fructose is actually not good because it will kill your vitamin C. Did you know that? When you
No, I
have
did not.
too much sugar of any kind, it competes with vitamin C to get into your cells. So it's possible that too much fruit is part of the problem. You can overdo anything. And I know in the summer, I mean, look at me living in Maui, you can eat too much fruit. So, cut back on the fruit, but get the Whole C Reset. The vitamin C Reset powder that's just ascorbic acid. You want the Whole C Reset because
I have two. I'm sorry, I have two in my hand right now.
Okay, so you're going to take 4 a day, and you're going to cut back on the fruit.
Wow. Okay. All right. I do smoothies all the time, like 75% like kale, and then I'll put a couple of bananas in it, and blueberries and strawberries.
Too much fruit. You're overdoing it. In one of the books, it might be I forget the immune book, which we have to rename it and call it Defense. But anyway, I talk about this competition between blood sugar and the vitamin C, and it's weird. It's weird and kind of scary to think that. But 2 pieces of fruit a day and 4 Whole C Reset, and let us know what happens next week.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I know that when I eat fructose or sugar, I know that busts my immune system. I know that I have a break in the immune system from, sugar, real sugar, but not from. I never noticed that, but I do a lot of that. So, yes, I will do an experiment, and then Lynn has I'm so glad that she's going to talk to you about her thyroid because. Anyway, okay. She said stop it. Okay, but thank you, and I'm done. Thanks.
Okay, Barb.
All right, so I hear a lot of people are having good luck with Remite and then the level of thyroid. So I take 75 micrograms and of stuff every day. So how do I know how much of this Remite I should take a day that's going to make an impact on this?
Right. Well, what we do, I don't know if you heard me say earlier, everybody gets the same amount of Remite, pretty much, Linda. You start with 3/4 of a teaspoon, and then after a few days, go to 3/4 of a teaspoon twice a day. Or what do? I sip mine through the day. I put the 1.5 teaspoons in with my Remag and potassium and everything else. So
Yep.
you could do that, but then you keep track, like we were talking about earlier. Go slowly. No, I shouldn't say it like that.
Carolyn,
yeah.
you cut out for a little bit there.
Okay.
You said keep track, and then what was next?
Thank you. So keep track of how you feel, and get Barb to watch you. Are you getting warmer hands? Are you feeling a bit sleepless or a little hyper? When I first started testing the Remite, I was on 60 milligrams of Armour Thyroid, and all of a sudden my hands were warm, my feet were warm, and I was getting hyper. And so instead of weaning off it, I just quit it. So I don't like people to do that. So what you'll do is just get your thyroid tested and see where you're at. You can start, if you can, get your TSH tested before you start. Did you and Barb get your Grassroots Health in-home blood tests?
Yeah, we're waiting for the results.
Perfect.
Should be any day now.
Yeah. So
because,
you'll have.
Yeah, I mean, I have noticed some, some heart palpitations and some other stuff. So I thought maybe I'm not taking enough thyroid, and I really don't want to take any more of it. So.
Well, heart palpitations mean it's too much of the synthroid.
Okay.
Heart palpitations means it too much. So what you would do is don't do the Remite yet, unless, are you taking it already?
Yeah, yes, inconsistently. Barb takes it all the time. I mean, I'm supposed to get blood work. It just got prescribed, so I'll get blood tests next week. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Because if your TSH is low, then you'll want right away to ask your doctor to have you cut back on the synthroid, and then you'll be more
low.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me earlier. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone, and the pituitary will increase the amount of thyroid stimulating hormone if your thyroid is hormones are low. And vice versa, if your thyroid hormones are getting too high, then the TSH will go low. So they're the opposite. So if your TSH is low, then, I'm taking too much synthroid, I should cut back. And then as you're cutting back on synthroid, you make sure to take your Remite consistently every day to support your thyroid hormones naturally.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Thanks so much. Yeah, it's taking a very long time to get our results from Grassroots Health, but someday we'll get them.
Okay.
Okay.
And
all right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, hon. Thanks for talking. You usually let Barb do all the talking.
Well, yes, she put me on the phone, so I had to say something.
So. She did, didn't she?
She did.
But
yes,
that's because she cares. That's because she cares.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
No fighting now when you get off the phone. No fighting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, bye.
Take care.
On the planet.
Right. Bye, girls. Bye-bye. Okay, Ginny.
Absolutely. All right. We press on with our important phone calls. Let's go to area code 248 tonight. If you could unmute your phone, *6, and we'll bring you on the call with Dr. Dean. Just give us your name and state your question or comment. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Denise. And I was just calling because I kind of been all off. Can you hear me?
Yes, Denise.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've been totally off on the products. I have them all now, everything. I haven't taken them in a while. And I have a thyroid appointment in about a week and a half. And so I'm pretending I'm starting all over from zero. I know that I hear a lot about the thyroid, but I know I asked this a long time ago, but I really don't even remember what the answer was. What happens if you don't have a thyroid? I want to take the Remite and all that stuff, but I just want to make sure that's okay, even if you don't have the thyroid.
Oh yeah, I think Ginny said earlier the thyroid, the remite minerals are important for hundreds of different things in the body. We do tend to emphasize remite for the thyroid because 9 of the 12 minerals do support thyroid function, and it's kind of an easy thing to talk about, but those minerals are needed for all kinds of functions,
Okay.
from head to toe. And if you have a little bit of thyroid tissue left, the remite is going to support that,
Okay.
surprisingly enough. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I appreciate that. The last second is I am still having issues with these doctors and pharmacists where they keep telling me I have to wait 4 hours before I can take, the Remag. And, so I guess that's what's probably been messing me up because you say sip it throughout the day. And I'm like, if I start real late and I don't get finished by the end of the day, and, then I feel like I'm either finishing it too fast or
I
maybe
know. Yeah.
and so I mean, if you have a suggestion, if you say,
Well,
for example,
the suggestion is to forget what they say because it makes no sense. What you're saying is you're supposed to take your thyroid medication and not take anything else for 4 hours, and it just doesn't make any sense. I can't. I think I had someone give me their reason a while back, and that didn't make sense. I mean,
okay.
it just doesn't make sense. Ginny, have we heard what have you heard through customer service about that?
I know
None of
people
our
always
people,
write in that question, it's probably based on some absurd rat study that they did in a hallway of a bus in 1967, and they're still saying the same silly thing. And in the meantime, medicine and nutrition have marched on, and everybody just knows. What are you supposed to not eat anything for 4 hours? What if you accidentally get a particle of magnesium in a bread sandwich you eat? It's so silly to me. I mean,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
thought they said, but it was if it's even though I told them, I said, well, this is food based, and no,
Yeah.
you wait until it's got magnesium. You can have all the other foods, but with calcium and magnesium and iron, you wait 4 hours after you take your thyroid.
Yeah, here's one. Minerals like iron, aluminum, and calcium bind to levothyroxine. Well, we don't give you aluminum or iron, and some people take Recalcia. I mean, you could take it at night if you were really concerned. But they've just sort of put all the minerals in that little bucket where it's iron, aluminum, and calcium, for Pete's sakes. And it's probably more aluminum than anything because aluminum is in a lot of the antacid formulas. So they
Yes.
probably think if people take their thyroid medication, then their aluminum antacid, which is dangerous anyway, that causes a binding problem. But no, we've figured it out. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, great. That's wonderful because that was throwing me off and scaring me and messing me all up. And so now, since I'm always going back to the beginning, I'm fine with that. I have no problems doing that.
And Denise, you should be phoning us up when you stop going off, when you go off the program.
I should. Yes, I should. Sorry about that. I will. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, we got your back. I mean, heavens, we don't
I
like.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much and have a very blessed day now.
Okay, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. I think we've got 731 coming up. 731 *6 your phone, and we'll bring you on to talk with Dr. Dean. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being patient. You've had to make it through all these phone calls. Come on in.
It's Priscilla.
Ah, hello, Priscilla. We
Hi,
haven't heard
Karen.
from, I
Hi,
haven't talked
Jamie.
to you in a while.
I know. It's been I've been having some health challenges. And I got on in time to hear about the thyroid, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I've just been diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
Oh gosh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to. So I've been taking since last August. I've been taking the Remite at the rate of 2 teaspoons a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we just recently got blood work done. What was that? June 28th that we got it done. And my TSH was 12.7.
Oh, good
and
gosh. Mm-hmm.
My T4, free T4, is 0.66.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the doctor says that it's, according to what they can determine, it's Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that the COVID got into the thyroid and I have an autoimmune disorder that attacked the thyroid.
Oh, right. You had that. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it had to. Yeah, it can happen.
And it's like, I want to keep on taking my Remite.
Mm-hmm. So but see, the TSH being that high, it means that you don't have enough thyroid hormone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yes,
so 50 mcgs, 50 micrograms of levothyroxine.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not proud to be on that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know. Well, in the meantime, to get this sorted out, we never say to stop the drugs because
I understand.
Yeah, we work with the drugs, so that's not a problem. But what about the virus could have attacked it, so the thyroid has to heal. You know what I would do, and I'm sure you're already doing it, is I'd be working on the Pico Silver and the Flora Revive to get the good bacteria back, and the Pico Silver to keep dealing with the virus and for stem cell production.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would work at it. My goodness. And I would even, put Pico Silver and Remite. I'd spray it on the thyroid area at the throat. I would.
Well, now that's an idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would cover it. Yeah, it's like, you're spraying a mosquito on your neck.
Yeah.
Just go after it. Oh my gosh.
When I was at the doctor's, they were like, "Well, what do you take? What do you take?" And I said, "Oh, well, a multivitamin and a multimineral." I just gave them real goofy answers.
Right. Oh, I know, because they'll just blame, whatever they can.
They'll just try to lay it to the dust and play me off the rocker.
Right. Oh, dear girl. Well, yeah, hang in there and do that spraying and do the yeast treatment more, the Pico Silver and Flora Revive. That's going to help.
And another thing, when is the Remag lotion coming in? I thought you had said it was in.
We do have one that we're not happy with. We can send you some of that right now.
Okay.
We're not that happy with it. But Ginny, what should Priscilla do to get that jar?
You've got to email Melody Rose, Priscilla at questions, questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. The thing of it is that we're not allowed to put it on the website. It's really being used for a targeted consumer survey. So you can get it for through that email. You have to email and ask us, and then we'll include you in the survey and send you the information on how to get it. But you do have to respond to the survey with your level of satisfaction and what it was like when you used it and that kind of thing, because Carolyn's not happy with it, and we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do as far as the redesign. So,
Okay. Well, another question on that. There's so many not Remag, pardon me, that's not true. There's so many magnesium creams out there. I have never been able to use one successfully except the Remag lotion in the pumper bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're going
for. I would just break out with the others.
Yeah.
And so I was so thrilled to be able to find the Remag lotion.
Right. Well, we're bringing it back, and yeah, I'm
Is
sorry.
Is it going to be the same ingredients, or I mean?
Well, the difference is what happened is we got caught in COVID, and I don't want to get into too much, Priscilla, because we've only got 3 minutes, but the COVID thing, it put an end to the bottle, and we ended up with a jar that you put your fingers in.
But I don't care what the container is, just so long as the stuff is the same.
Okay. Email Melody Rose. She'll get a hold of it for you. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Questions, Dr. Dr. Carolyn Dean.
At drcarolyndeanlive.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay, Priscilla. Thanks for keeping in touch. Bye-bye.
Yes. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I think we got to everybody, Carolyn. We had so many calls tonight. It was really glorious. Thank you for everybody for dialing in. We will be back next Monday. So if somehow you didn't get through, we can get to you next week. Don't forget questions at Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Communicate directly with Melody Rose if you need any more support throughout the week. Carolyn, any final thoughts?
Let me just say, infectious disease expert Tony Cunningham discusses the growing problem and health implications of immunosenescence, known as age-related decline in immunity. Aging affects all aspects of the immune system, says Professor Cunningham, who's based at the University of Sydney. We know that older people, particularly over the age of 60 to 65, are adversely affected by a number of common infections, including influenza, pneumococcal pneumonia, and shingles. So that should tell you something, folks. If they know that your immune system is weakening with age, then they should be telling you to take your supplements, except we have doctors like T. Colin Campbell telling you the supplements are crap. They're crap. So just beware of false prophets, for Pete's sakes. That's what we've got these days. False prophets.
That's right. Beware of the super silliness. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And we had some wonderful calls today with people who've been doing the formulas. They have their experiences and they share them with us so that we can pass them on and learn from them. It's wonderful. It's just so perfect. We're very appreciative.
Yes. We'll be back next week, you guys. Yay. Thank you, everybody. Great show. Great show.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy.